So not all hearts are created equal. No?
No?
No, I was muted.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, from the
I
stream.
had muted the stream, but I had muted the mic.
Ah,
Matt is
Will.
the only one not muted.
Dang.
I had muted the
Oh,
mic.
thank you, chat.
I had muted the mic before I left, so that
Let's
there
do it.
wouldn't be any background noise on Twitch, and I
Oh,
forgot
that's
to
right.
unmute it because
Let's
I'm
do
an
a sound
idiot.
test.
Yes, let's do a sound test.
Do
Ray.
me
Ah.
I'm okay.
so
That's
All right, but I think we should all be
me
good
a
now.
name I call myself.
That's
No?
But yes, it was a very fun PaizoCon. Look, I got a cool mini that I can't wait to use.
Oh God. It is unspeakable.
It's an eldritch abomination, and I love it.
Also possibly just the refuse from a 3D printer.
Yes,
Who is to
and
say?
chat, we're going to be doing a giveaway on this channel soon.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah,
Giveaways?
because I got a whole bunch of books in a swag bag from PaizoCon that I already own.
Books.
And Matt already owns. And I don't think McKenna would want to own. And I don't think Aaron or Zoe would want to own.
But you might want to own it.
But
you might want.
But
You,
might want
chat,
to own
that
them.
is who we're talking
so
to.
Once I go through things and figure out how to do a giveaway legally, without getting like in legable question, we will do that, and maybe I'll attach it to a follower goal. We'll find out. I need to start doing more follower goals and calls to action. And here's a call to action for y'all: share the stream with your friends, promote us. Word of mouth helps us get out of the proverbial Twitch jail post week break due to me taking a week off. So if you want to help us get out of Twitch jail, share the stream with some friends who you think will enjoy it. Who, even if you don't think they'll enjoy it, send them our way. We're charming people. Zoe's charming. McKenna's charming. Aaron's charming. Matt's charming. I'm kind of useless.
Why was I last?
I'm kind of useless in that department. Because I went up from the Zoom call.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's faces when you called them out were so funny.
Oh.
Hello, little ducky friend.
That's cute.
I
they
tried.
duck.
I tried to do a giveaway once, but the poor lady at the McDonald's was like, "Why are you giving me a sword, sir?"
Fair enough.
It's free.
That's what I said.
It's like the TMZ app. The price is free. So we have that. And in a little bit, I can say this: I'm getting published in another thing.
Duck Sisters.
I'm so happy for you, Will, but also there are 3 tiny ducks on screen.
There is. But I'm getting published in another thing, and when that thing gets
Huzzah!
published, we're going to play it on this channel.
Ooh.
So once I can announce that, like once
A fun one shot.
Once that's been officially announced, I'll go into it. But yeah, so we'll do that. But you know, fun stuff for me, fun stuff for you. My cute little toy swarm got used in another product, and it makes me very happy.
It should. You should be very proud you possibly get to kill some adventurers vicariously.
Crystal Calf, it's more giveaway laws in Canada are kind of fucked up because I don't know how to speak French. That's the more thing I'm worried about.
It's a Quebec thing. They have rules about gambling, and giveaways count as like weird gambling things.
Yes.
So,
Oh, I see.
Quebec, the elephant graveyard of Canada. We don't go there.
I mean, I did there once because my flight was delayed.
Yeah. But we have that. We have that announcement. All of our streams are back this week. I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow because, quite honestly, the amount of grinding I need to do in Koromon makes me hate myself.
Oh,
So-
that doesn't sound helpful.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun then.
I'm
Joe.
going to go play something else for fun.
Chat, if you have any suggestions for maybe free-to-play, easy to pick up games for Will, or $5 game.
I was going to do the Ni no Kuni game release, but they're doing blockchain bullshit.
Oh.
And it's kind of just like an auto battler thing. It's honestly not that fun. Like, the only thing enjoyable about it is the fact that it's Ghibli art. But yeah, so I'm going to be figuring out that tomorrow at some point. And then, of course, on Wednesday, we have the League of Amazing Adventurers. They're fighting a Necromancer Dragon. Come check that out. It's going to be a crazy encounter. Then on...
We will super dead them.
Friday, we have the Calling Chronicle. Rose has sent me concept artwork for her character for the next campaign, and Rose is very excited.
Yeah, she
Chad
is.
is very excited. McKenna is very excited. Matt's very excited.
I don't know what's happening.
The space campaign.
Oh. Okay, but yes, I'm excited about the campaign. I think you meant specifically the character design, which I haven't seen.
No, I think
I'll show you
Rose
after
just sent it to
stream,
me.
it's real good.
It's wonderful. So we're doing that on Friday. Then on Saturday, Salt and Sorcery is the thing. Me and Matt are going to do something. We still haven't confirmed. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it for 3
Various
weeks.
things.
What we want to do, we still haven't made a decision because Matt and I cannot make decisions to save our life. Apparently.
Sadly, I'm also I don't think they're gonna have the fixed Dark Souls 3 multiplayer by the weekend. So
No, they're not. So we might do something else first.
it might be something really stupid.
Yeah, it might be something stupid. It might be something fun. It might be something crazy. It might be something dumb. But come and find out. Then on Sunday, of course, we have the return of Stardew Sunday. We have until summer of 2022 to finish Stardew Sunday, so we gotta make our way through that game quickly because the second the Disney Stardew Valley drops, I'm jumping on that.
Disney released a farming sim, so it's like a farming Animal Crossing kind of. Ooh, opinions. We have opinions in the chat.
It's not out yet. It's not out till summer 2020, but I'm going to check it out. And I'll probably be done the Stardew playthrough. We're in winter of year 1 right now, so, we're making good progress. Then, of course, every Monday there's the Strength of Thousands AP. You're watching that right now. We've almost been rambling for as long as Critical Role does before their show. So, Matt, why don't you do some lovely, happy introductions for us? Some happy little introductions.
But I don't have an amazing ad copy to do with possibly crazy mixed drinks or an alternate universe where everyone is a hacker with a cheesy 90s name. But you know what we do have that is wonderful and wears fabulous hats? It's so.
I really thought you were going to start with Aaron.
I was going to follow up with, and also speaking of wonderful hats, and I only just now realized that your hat is a strawberry.
It is a strawberry.
I thought it was maybe a mushroom because I didn't see the green bit on the top.
Well, I wish I had
just a beret.
That would be very on brand. It is, in fact, a strawberry. And speaking of people that love strawberries, that's Ophelia. She's my character that I play in this AP. She is a pastel witch. She loves all things cute. She loves interaction and friends. So many friends. So send us some new friends.
Yes, send us
and
friends.
I'm so hi.
Send us friends to join Ophelia's cabal.
Speaking of cabals, which are another name for shadowy organizations, much like cults, Will, remind us who you play after all this time.
I am playing Igora, who was a Gripply cultist, is now a Gripply student. I am having fun with it, and do you know what I'm really excited for? When the next book comes out, they have an entire chapter on a cult. They have an entire chapter on cults and cult-related abilities. So I think I might grab some of those for Igora, just because cults. They're fun if you join them and if you're running them. I would like to run a cult.
Okay, then we'll talk to Cooper. Maybe he can get you on the ground floor of the Coop Troop or the Church of Coop.
That was
speaking
audible,
of,
McKenna.
Sorry, I didn't mean for it to be audible. It smacked the table when it
Perfect timing.
Anyway.
I mean, though, speaking of that particular domicile, McKenna, why don't you introduce your character?
Hello, my name is McKenna, and I'm playing Avi, the Nick Terra Witch, little baby sprite. Here to cast some spells and raise some hell as per usual.
Delightful. And As mentioned previously, there is another member of the party who wears great hats. Aaron, who are you playing tonight?
Hello, I'm Erin. I'm playing Eris, wonderful cat person wizard. Speaking about great friends, because we were sharing our love of small little tiny ducks. Bob has a new friend. Okay. Yay!
Bob has a familiar of his.
Please save me.
Yay!
This giant
And
has
it gets
kidnapped me.
smaller and smaller and smaller.
Aw,
Soon my duck friend will have a friend.
a little ant.
But I need to draw angry eyebrows on my duck because he's an evil duck.
Good for him.
Hmm hmm
I would
He
love to-
has plans of world domination.
Don't we all?
Don't we
Yes.
all?
Just
I
different
get
ways.
it.
All right. And of course, I am Matthew, as Urbanoff, various places on the internet. I am the DM or cat wrangler of this group of oddities. But we've managed to make things work so far. But will that continue? We will find out. Will, please feel free to roll that intro.
I will push the button! Sorry, the intro timing is the intro timing, and I can't do anything about it.
You could have
It's
kept
okay.
talking, really. It's fine.
No, it shows
Just-
a black screen. I didn't want to think we were plagued with. I didn't want the audience to think that we were plagued with technical difficulties the first day back. Even
I mean,
though
we probably
kind of-
will be.
Difficulties, just chatty Cathiness, which I am personally a big fan of.
Oh, just dish.
Oh, just-
Anyway, when last we left our group of students slash adventurers slash amateur art thieves, they had completed the sort of the quest given to them by their housemate and friend, Shizere, who was trying to maybe hold on to some memories or feelings of his relationship with the mysterious Kiara who's disappeared. But that seems to have been set to rest. You guys managed to escape from the seemingly poorly constructed demi-plane that Kiara apparently had tried to construct and maybe not had paid too much attention in demi-plane construction class. But yeah, you guys have returned to your studies. As I'm constantly being reminded that this chapter is supposed to take place over like weeks and stuff. You're not just doing these tasks day after day after day. So a week goes by. You guys surreptitiously, keep an eye on Shizere, and he seems to kind of bounce back to his normal self. He does give you guys the painting to look after because he knows plenty about temptation in his line of work, so to speak. So he doesn't even want it around right now to tempt. He does ask occasionally for one of you to accompany him as he kind of goes and just studies it and tries casting some detect magic spells or sense auras things to try and learn more about it. But he always makes sure he has a buddy with him.
the buddy system.
Yeah,
Very responsible.
he is trying to be better about it. He had a very brief brush there with like falling unconscious in a separate reality, and he was quite kind of terrified in the back of his head of that no one would ever find him. So,
Oh,
like if you ever think about like in the Shawshank Redemption, if he had gotten stuck crawling in those pipes underground, horrifying thought. But anyway, that's the only thing that keeps me awake at night. But eventually, another note arrives for your group, another task. This one is specifically from Genetimo, and he asks you all to meet him at the exclusive Black Crowned Crane restaurant.
ooh.
The,
Ooh.
the note politely suggests they dress up. So, if you guys
That's
would
right.
like, if you guys would like, you can take a moment to elaborate on what that means for your individual characters, what it means to maybe dress up.
Oh no.
I draw this really quick.
Keep in mind, you guys have heard a little bit about the black crowned crane. It is named for one of the original students of the the great mage that the school was founded by, and it apparently is a pretty swanky place. Not necessarily hoity-toity, but just people who go there probably are affluent or just rich or are important people. It's a destination for a lot of like visiting high-class merchants who want to meet with people and impress them.
Ophelia? You hear a teeny tiny knock on your door, Ophelia.
Hi, Avi Avi. What's up?
It has occurred to me that I don't think I own fancy clothes. I think I have good clothes, like they're constructed well. But I don't know if they are considered fancy. Like, would you think maybe this would be good? And she holds up it's work clothes. They're just less
Oh,
like most of what Avi has. It's cute, but it's for function, not for fashion. Um do you have maybe any scraps of anything that I don't think I have anything appropriate. Could you make something? Do you have enough time?
I have plenty of time. I would love to make something for you. What color?
Um, I don't know. Is there a good color for fancy clothes?
Mm, well, I have, mm, let's see, let's see. Do you think like a greeny or like a purpley?
I like purple.
Okay, I have like this purpley satin and I could make like a little dress for you. And I could
Okay.
put like little pockets.
Oh, yes, definitely pockets.
Okay.
Okay, I trust your judgment,
It
Ophelia.
won't take very long at all, to be honest, because you are kind of little.
I am very small. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you, Ophelia.
okay. So then we end up making like a little uh let's see. So she layers some like lace, some little like purple lace on there, purple and black lace, like on the bottom, and like a little fringe. And she kind of adds some little like ties in the middle and on the back so that it's easy for Avi to get her wings like in and out of it.
Aww.
cute.
A cute little like purple and black motif on this dress.
That sounds adorable.
Very cute. Very cute.
She's so elated to be making food for Avi Avi, just saying.
During the whole process between both Ophelia and Avi Avi, Aerith is in her side of the room, going through everything she has. She's very indecisive about what she's going to wear, but she knows what Bob usually likes to wear. He already has his little matching set laid out. He has a little top hat and a little bow tie to go with his little ensemble. But she just kind of has a bunch of material and just is in a fuss about what she's going to wear. She still hasn't made a decision yet, although I already know what she's going to wear. We'll just say for this time, she has not made a decision yet.
Nice.
Y'all see Igora
No.
walking out of their room,
Uh-oh.
looking fine AF, because you see they are in their formal clothing from home. They have a skull of Agrippoli on their head, red eye makeup going down the skull onto their face. Their arms are covered with bones and seaweed that are just like creating this like armored sort of caterpiece. Their chest is bare with like red and blue and paint, and it's meant to look like a blood splattery thing. They are wearing these like very like high-waisted bony pants, like bone-made pants and like boots. And I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Kalima!
Did you get it in a
Kalima!
fight?
No, this is my formal wear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Everyone is looking at Igor with the exact same expression that we're giving on the stream right now.
I even brought the and Igor like pulls out from like a pouch in the back this like stick. He then like lights it on fire quickly and then pulls out from the thing on the back a dagger that's like this like beautiful looking dagger. It's has like a nice like solid dark hilt and this blade is like curved and it's a little bit blood crusty. Yeah, I even brought the good materials for formal.
Igor, I prestidigitate the dried blood off of the blade.
No, that's
So
That was
both
history.
seasons like this have a rule. It's just one rule. No shoes, no shirt, no surface.
I'm painted.
So you do need a shirt. I have some spare dress shirts if you want to put that. The skull's really cool. But you need a shirt.
But this is. Oh. Wait, have I done? Oh, I've done a cult. I've done another culty thing, haven't I?
Did a cult thing, I think.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to go take care of this. I'll be back.
One of you out of the corner of your eye notices like Ankrut come around the corner of the hall, sees this, and then just kind of does a pivot on her heel and just goes back the way she came.
I think that this might just be a little bit too culture for all of you. I'll get something else. And Igora heads back to
Will
the room
gets
for a
doomed
while.
1.
What, you didn't like that?
No.
You have to remember, Will, only people who say the puns like puns. Which is why I don't mind making them myself.
What can I say? I'm a glutton for punishment.
That's for you, Matt.
Oh, I almost threw
For
something at
having
my
to put
computer.
up with that.
But in all seriousness, Igora will leave campus for a bit, and he'll be back in a little while once
Oh,
y'all are finished
okay.
getting dressed.
All right, so y'all ready to go?
Yeah, Ophelia hasn't put her dress on.
Yo, my goodness.
That's why I was asking.
Exactly. So she has sprouted for the occasion. So it's like a kind of a peachy color undertone, but on top it's got this like pink lace, a high-low dress with a, let's say like a sweetheart neckline. And on the very top, it's got like flowers along it, and then on the very bottom, it's got flowers, kind of like almost like a floral petticoat situation. And the train has flowers on it too.
Cute.
Hmm.
Yeah, very cute, very cute.
I just remembered I need a scoreboard for this particular quest.
At that point, Igora will have probably now come back from going shopping, and Igora is in a full suit.
Ooh.
Like, it is like a full suit. Like a full, like, frog in a suit.
A tuxedo.
Yeah,
You
with
walked
little
in like a
tux.
pair of frog legs like dynamite.
I went to a place and asked
Sharp.
for I went to a place and asked for formal wear, and the tailor just yelled suit up, and I was in this in like 20 minutes. It's really constrictive. How are you supposed to sacrifice someone in one of these?
We're not sacrificing anyone, Igora.
Isn't
We're
that
going
what
to eat food.
Oh, that is not what a formal dinner was for me. All right.
We're gonna take a portrait, probably.
Oh,
So it'll be nice to look nice.
so no cannibalism.
No.
No.
Oh, good. I didn't. Good. I hated having to like pretend to like throw the food like beside me. That was really awkward.
Oh, well, at least you didn't eat it.
Yeah, why would I eat? Yeah, nah. Even I drew. Listen,
You-
I was
A
deep.
few
in the-
other
I was deep in that call, but even I drew the line at some things.
you guys hear like some other footsteps in the hallway nearby, like, Mom, what's cannibalism?
Oh, Tazenwei's gonna be so mad at us. We need to go right now. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Yes, Shazare, what is
Shush, shush,
cannibalism?
shush.
And
Shush. Shut up. We gotta.
though I'm blame Shazare owes us one. He can take the fall on this.
As you guys exit the dorm, you also discover Choco in they have a little outdoor nest they make when they're not staying in the room with Igra, especially since they've gotten large. And you find Choco wearing a bow tie.
Yeah.
Cute.
You have no idea where it came from, and his beak might be waxed.
His beak is waxed, and his toenails are painted black to make them look like dresses.
Wow.
I almost want to give him like spats, but
And like
Very
also
spiffy.
if you look at Igor, he is wearing shoes, but also like the tips of his fingers have been painted some other colors just for fun.
Hmm.
Hey.
Avi hastily takes like a hanky out of her bag and ties it around Agate's neck, like, Marie style. It's just kind of like a big floppy bow.
Cute.
So you guys make your way through the city as the sun slowly starts to dip toward the horizon. Janatimo stands at the entrance of the Black Crowned Crane restaurant, famous for its artistic and culinary delights. He is wearing a what appears to be an ensemble he picked up on one of his travels. It is a dark red, what appears to be Tien-made kind of silk outfit. Like a yukata, like almost like somewhat, you see the characters might wear to like a summer festival in an anime or something.
Aww.
Yeah.
It's got very faint and very subtle like gold trim in places. It's a very nice but not ostentatious outfit.
That's nice.
He smiles at you guys very broadly when you show up and kind of takes you off to the side, like a little ways away from the entrance, as he apparently needs to explain something to you. This task is about stories. Every year, the Black Crowned Crane has a Tall Tales contest. It's wordplay. The contest is about tales, and as in the appendage. People tell stories of encounters with strange and unique versions of ordinary animals. I've been trying to get participation to be something of a tradition among the Uzunjati, though I haven't had a lot of luck making it stick. This year, I entered each of you. Any of you are capable of winning, but I only ask that you try to show the rest of Nantambu how imaginative our students are. I think any of your past exploits with giant insects, ferocious tigers, venomous snakes, or other animals provide excellent storytelling material. But you can embellish or even invent other tales if you choose. If it seems like I'm springing this on you, that's the intent. Impromptu stories are sometimes the best ones. He walks back to the entrance and pushes it open for you and bows and gestures for you guys to enter inside.
How am I supposed to tell tall tales? I'm barely 12 inches tall.
Oh, don't worry.
You don't have a tail.
I don't have a tail.
This story doesn't have to be about yourself.
I used to have a
So-
tail.
Oh.
All right, so I will, Genetimo, as you guys are shown to a table by a dark-skinned elf with their hair slicked back and wearing a very formal-looking kind of staff outfit. Genetimo briefly goes over the rules. And an exquisite meal is brought to you at his expense. Each story must center on a person's interaction with an animal. The person might be the narrator themselves, but the narrator can also tell a tale about someone else. So like my uncle heard. The animal must have some distinguishing supernatural or unusual ability. Is it a crocodile that can control minds? A lion that can step through shadows? The story must be no longer than 5 minutes, but can be as short as a few sentences if the tailor likes. Basically, the evening will go on, and each of you will be invited onto a small stage with the other performers. Several judges sit at the closest tables, and Janantimo greets the judges as they pass by to take their seats. Apparently, he knows all of them. They're old friends, perhaps. So, each player should describe their character's story generally. If your players are willing, each of them can try to tell their story to the other players, but it doesn't have to really be go in depth. This is being sprung upon you, and you guys are not going to be graded on your actual storytelling ability necessarily. So basically, you guys are going to be doing this to accrue story points by building the best story that you can. You can perform the following activities to accrue story points. Since the story can't be longer than 5 minutes, you can perform up to 5 tests, essentially. Let's see. So, present a tall tale, auditory, concentrate, exploration. You present one aspect in your narrative about a meeting with a mystical animal. Each attempt takes 1 minute and requires you to attempt a skill check. You can choose between describing the animal, nature, inventing something supernatural about it, arcana, deception, or occult, recalling past tales about the animal, society, adding narrative drama, deception, or performance, or connecting with the audience, performance. You can't take any of these options more than twice in the same story. A critical success will get you 2 story points. A success will get you 1 story point. A critical failure, you lose 1 story point. So nothing happens with a failure. You just don't gain any points.
You get tomatoes thrown at you.
Yes. Yeah.
Matt, is this a handout?
I don't think so. Player handout.
Or is there like
no, I'm afraid not. But I can throw it in Zoom chat.
Yes, if you can, that would be really helpful. Just so we can have that list.
Yeah, it does give away the DC difficulty, but that'll become obvious pretty quick.
If you want, you can delete the DCs.
It's too late. It's the same DC for
Thank
everything.
you.
It's fine. It would become pretty obvious pretty quick what the DC is.
Okay.
So, and plus, I'm more than happy to answer questions at any time. And it should be noted, there are 4 other storytellers going up.
All right.
You guys will have to, and they technically cannot fail in their particular things. They have set story points they win.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you what they are until they come up. So you guys will have possibly shifting goals to reach.
Let's have some fun.
Can my certain character, well, you said have any mystical power of some sort, or just?
And remember,
right?
you can make this up whole
You
cloth.
can just make it up.
You can just make it up.
I met a rhino once that could shoot lightning bolts out of its butt.
Welcome back, our lovely little Banny-Roo.
Cool. Only because I think I have a story.
Well, then would you like to go first, my fine feline friend?
Okay, I'll go first. I'll bite the dust. It's gonna be rough because it was literally sprung on us in literally a second. But here it goes. Aerith likes to pantomime, of course. She's opening up a fairy tale book. There's once upon a time, there's this lovely frog that I met in a meadow, not counting Megara.
All right, so you're describing the creature.
Mhm.
That'll be your first chance to get a story point. Please feel. Now, here's a question. Just so we don't necessarily break the flow of your storytelling, do you guys want to just tell the story and then we kind of retroactively go back and do the skill checks, or do you want to do it as we tell the story?
Let's do the first one.
After?
Okay,
Yeah.
So, Aaron, go ahead and tell your whole story, and then we will essentially dissect how you told it and let you take the skill checks that are appropriate.
Okay, gotcha. So it's describing the. Okay,
Well,
I'm just gonna
do your thing.
tell the story as it is, and then
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so starting again. Once upon a time, there was this lovely green frog in a meadow somewhere. He has an unusual quest that he has to go ahead and figure out. He has to save a lovely princess. So, with his mystical powers of deception, he actually changes into a human. And it's for his quest of love to find his true love. And so, through many battles of trial and error, he finally goes up, saves the princess, gives her a kiss on the mouth, and the princess dies. Why? Because he is a poisonous frog. And so throughout his life of guilt and being heckled by the village for the death of their princess, he is now chosen exile.
Oh. There's some or
Oh, sad.
More?
There is, well, since it's sprung onto me, it is still being written in my brain,
that's all right.
but I am going to leave you on a cliffhanger.
General murmuring in the crowd. All right, so how would you like to break this down? You have 5 attempts at this, and there's a variety of different checks you can do, but you can only do a particular one twice at most.
Okay.
So you have describing the animal, nature, inventing something supernatural about it, which is arcana, deception, or occult, recalling past tales about the animal. Didn't really do that. That's society. Adding narrative drama, deception or performance, or connecting with the audience, performance. So any of those in there particularly good for you? I'm imagining maybe arcana.
Arcana.
All right. So why don't you give me, try and bank on that a lot. Why don't you try and give me 2 arcana checks then?
Okay. Please. I need to go ahead and where is it? There it is.
All right, that is 1 success. That gains you 1 story point.
Nice.
There's my other.
All right, that gains you another success, not quite a crit, so that gains you 2 story points. So you're doing pretty well. You're 2 for 2. Now that you are left with 3 things to check.
Right.
And so you can't do arcana again.
Mm-hmm.
You could do nature, you could do deception or performance, you could do performance, society if you want, though you didn't really talk about the past tales of the animal.
Right.
But,
forgot to talk about that.
ooh, Will's wielding that banhammer with skill and precision.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do society?
If you'd like to, yeah. That is another success. That's 3 story points for you. All right, so you have 2 things left. You could do another society if you wanted, and then 1 other thing, or do 2 others.
Yeah, because my deception and nature's.
And you did describe the animal, so it
Right.
probably makes sense to do at least 1 nature check.
Oof.
That is not a critical failure, so you just don't gain a point for that one.
Right.
You have 1 attempt left to get yourself maybe a nice round 4 points.
I'll go ahead and do society.
Okay. That is another success. Aaron comes out with 4 story points at the end.
She bows.
Right.
She bows. Bow. Bob also takes off his hat.
So a next person who takes the stage is a human female. You hear from mutterings about you guys and a couple little comments from Genetimo that this is Iriomiya, a seasoned storyteller, has won the contest a few times. Though in her kind of swagger up to the stage, you get the impression she might be a little overconfident. Does tell a good story. It is about a persuasive talking snake that talks itself out of being killed by a hunter. The story is a good one, gets some laughs, gets a few oohs from the audience, and the judges do end up awarding her 7 story points.
Oh.
Jeez.
So, next up is whoever from your group wishes to take a stab at it.
Okay.
All right, guys, come on, you
Who
can
would
do
like-
it. I believe in you.
I'll go for it. I'll go for it.
All right, Avi takes.
Avi,
Really quickly, without it even seeming like a thing, a stool is provided for you.
thank you very much. I am
With that-
not tall enough to reach the microphone, even on its shortest setting. So I very much appreciate
The what?
that. Is there? I'm picturing like a magical microphone.
It's actually like just like a brass like speaking tube almost. Like like kind that people would speak into, but it does seem to magnify voice magically. So it's just an enchanted brass tube.
Okay.
Still has a cable dangling from it for some reason.
For some reason, who knows? My coven grew up around one large tree. That tree has been in the same place for many years, but it was not always that way. When my grandmother was a girl, they had all set up around the tree. But one day in the morning, when they woke up after hearing weird scritching sounds all night, the tree was gone. They looked everywhere, high and low, near and far, and eventually they did find it, and it had been moved. Almost by magic, just a little ways away. So they moved their camp, and they set up around it again, and strung up their little macrame lanyards and decorations, and went off to sleep after a day's hard work. Again, in the night, if you listened very, very closely, you could hear scritching and scratching and scritching and scratching. And when they woke up, the tree was gone again. This time, they had tracked it, so they were able to find it quickly, and they were able to set up again. But this time, when nighttime fell, they set up a lookout. My grandmother was one of the people on lookout, and she saw, through the darkness, a fluffy, gray tail disappearing into a hole in the tree. And then, bizarrely, you see the tree's roots start to move as it stands up and walks away. Well, she was too small to follow it on foot, so she raised the alarm, woke everyone up, and then everyone found it again. Again, you were able to track it by not footsteps, but root steps that it left in the dirt. They approached the tree very, very slowly, hearing little scritchy, scratchy noises. My grandmother pokes her head into the hole, worried about what kind of monster she might find, and she finds a squirrel and her 3 little squirrel babies. It turns out they had been managing to move the tree by pulling on fibers within that hole and moving the roots. Well, naturally they couldn't have them moving all over the place, but the squirrels wanted a safe place to raise their kids, so they came to an agreement that everyone would stay and the coven would help them and provide food for them and keep them safe in exchange for them teaching them how to move the tree wherever they wanted. And everyone lived happily ever after. That's my story, thank you. Avi runs off stage.
From the back, you can hear Eris just go, "Woo! Yeah, Bobby!"
All right. Very nice storytelling. What checks do you think you would want to roll for this? You kind of covered all the bases, so you, except maybe recalling past tales about the animal.
I would say this is a past tale, because this was her grandmother's story.
Well, no, I think recalling past tales about the animal is almost more like referencing it as being part of multiple stories. But I'm not going to say you can't roll on society, so.
Okay. Can I do 2 arcana, 2 occult, and a society?
If you wish, certainly.
I
certainly.
do wish. All right, I'm not going to look at the chat. I'm just going to roll them all at once. 1, 2,
Ooh, let's go, let's go.
3, 4,
Ooh, let's go. Ooh, let's go.
5.
Oh! Oh. Yeah!
Okay, so,
Oh,
McKenna,
God!
Good
You
job.
got-
Can I
Celine.
use a hero point on that society check?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
well,
Well,
But still, you didn't lose a point, so hold on. We got 1, 2, 3 crits. So that gets you 6 points. I'm pretty sure. And then you get, you are tied with the front runner now. So you got 3 crits and 1 success and 1 failure. So Avi comes out with 7 points.
what are those 2 natural 20s doing in there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty
crazy.
incredible.
That's insane.
it's gonna be a story off.
Aww.
Um, and as you return to your table, the dark-skinned elf with the slick back hair comes back and places a small bat-sized cocktail on the table for you and says, "From the lady in black at the bar." And he walks away.
I look for a lady in black at the bar.
Um, you catch for a second what catches your eye is sitting in the bar, kind of in the dark a little bit, and off in the corner. Everything in here is kind of dark. They've got like very fancy lanterns hanging from it, but they've created sort of a campfire aura for this. More fancy, but you see at first though a shape that seems to be kind of like sparkling like the night sky, and you realize it is a dress with like maybe not diamonds, but scatterings of sequins in it, so it shimmers whenever the person moves a little bit, like the night sky. And then you notice in the high slit on the side of the dress a purple leg, and you realize you've seen this person before as your eyes kind of go up the body, and you realize it is the proprietress of the Black Hat.
Oh boy.
And she seems to be wearing in her hair, in her like kind of very pale gray or white hair. She has like some sort of tiara, but it looks like it is a pitch black like crown with like pitch black thorns woven into it. It's quite the thing. And she also doesn't seem to be alone at the bar, though she raises her glass. She kind of guessed you would be looking around for her. She's drinking something very dark and red. She has a companion with her at the bar who is this skeletally thin but tall figure, all dressed in black with a dark, tall black hat, just sitting at the bar. You can't even see their face under the hat. And they're just sort of leaned over the bar, sitting next to her, not drinking anything. They're just sort of like crouched at the bar. They're tall and lanky.
I lean over as surreptitiously as I can to Janatimo and say, "Do I drink this or is it going to kill me?" Janatimo?
I think I would drink. It would be rude not to.
Even if the owner of the Black Hat is the one who gave it to you?
I mean, she's out of her shop. I can't. She's not a bad person. She's just. I. I can never get the read on her.
Okay.
Also, I don't know who that is sitting next to her, and I don't care to know.
No, me neither. He seems very scary.
I mean,
but
I
his
like a
drink
good
does
scary
look good.
story, but that looks like a man who is a hole in reality, and I do not care for it if it is a man at all.
The story I told is about as scary as I like to get, so this I will just enjoy. Thank you.
It is just a very nice port.
Huh.
Sweet.
I don't think Avi Avi has ever had a nice port.
Not something common in the Mogi
No.
Expanse. Not a lot of just kind of normal grape wine found here. But yeah, the next person who goes up into the stage is a man introduced as Tucumbo. Apparently, he kind of nervously introduced himself that he describes he is in fact a woodworker by trade. He's computed here a few times, but you hear someone whisper, "Yeah, but he's never won." His story is about a frog who can leap into the future and creates a series of pranks for a boy who threw stones at him. Despite his nervousness, he stutters. The story is so well crafted, and you get the impression he's like spent a lot of time working on this story just for this night. He gets 5 story points.
Oh,
Because it's just a fun story. It's the frog that leapt through time.
cute.
And next it comes back to your group. We got Ophelia and Igor left.
Ophelia, I'll leave it to be your choice. Would you like me or you?
I can go. I'm excited.
It's entirely your call.
So as Ophelia is heading up, she has this like wreath of flowers and crystals in her hair, and she like reaches behind, does a motion, and they light up.
Oh.
All right. I would love to share with you all a tale of me and my sister. So before she passed, my sister and I would often adventure when my mom was traveling to different cities, doing music lessons actually with children. And we decided that we were going to go off on our own adventure and have a picnic wherever we could find. And we passed upon a very dark and eerie cave, and it was super quiet. So we were very curious to see what was in there. And when we traveled inside, we found a beautiful hidden glen. Inside, swimming gracefully, there was a waterfall, a meadow of flowers, and the most incredible thing I've ever seen, a pool of gold. Just gold pieces. It was amazing. But inside, swimming gracefully, was a duck with a top hat and a monocle. And now I've seen a duck wearing a top hat before. That was not weird to me at all. But never a duck who was making the gold multiply at such a rapid rate while he was swimming in it. It was so crazy. And when we looked a little closer, we saw 3 little red, green, and blue ducklings run around. It was so cute. Before we were able to enter the cave, however, there was a huge crash outside, and a story for another time. A giant airship landed in a meadow nearby, so our attention got carried elsewhere. But the next day, when we tried to visit the cave again, it was not there, and there were 2 gold coins in the bushes. So my sister and I decided that we were going to take those gold coins, meditate, and we made a song about our experience. I would love to perform it for you now. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Cars, lasers, airplanes, it's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo!
As is my tradition, I'll give you a hero point.
Yay!
A stranger out to find me.
As soon as you said tall tales, that was the first thing that came to my mind, and I forgot I was wearing these earrings.
That was a good one. I actually really liked the references. It was super cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Playing us like a damn fiddle.
I would like to make 2 performance checks,
Okay,
2 deception checks,
fair.
but using my feet, those will be performance checks as well.
I mean, that's fair. I
That's
guess
fair.
that's fair.
And a society check.
Skirt around the rules there, but I will allow it.
Let's go, baby.
All right.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
oh.
Oh, oh, oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll that one.
Which one?
The 17.
Okay.
Mhm. There we go.
Okay, so that will bring us to then, that is 2 crit successes. Oh,
Isn't it 3?
3, you're right. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3 crit successes,
God
Mhm.
damn.
and then a normal success from the. It's all just performances, yeah. So 3 crit successes will get you 6, and then so you get 7 as well. Oh, it's going to be a triple tie unless one of the other.
Wow.
Pity roll. Should I re-roll that?
You mean if you have the hero point for it, do it.
Yeah, you start with 1, and I gave you 1, so technically.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, that puts it over the edge. Then you end with 8.
Nice.
You edge out, just ahead of the competition so far.
Thank
To the
you.
back, Aerith again. Woo! Let's go, Ophelia! Woo! Lady near me. Shh. Be quiet, Grandma.
Next up, is going to be a halfling, which is a fairly rare sight here in Tombu. Female halfling, a scribe by profession. She seems quite nervous. She admits that this is her first time in a storytelling contest, but she's been a big fan of them. She's always wanted to try, so she's worked up her courage. She takes a drink of something. um, she tells a very personal story about being lost in a swamp and meeting a heron that can turn itself in and others invisible to hide from predators. Um, she does stumble a little bit, and her kind of timing on some of the beats, the important beats of the story, a little off. So she only ends with 4 story points. But she does get a nice round of applause from the audience, and she does her cheeks kind of look like red apples by the end. She seems pleased that she managed to work up the courage to do it at all. So, and she's a first timer, so she can certainly come back.
Yay!
And then finally, we come to the last member of our group, the frog himself. Ghetto.
Typing.
I am.
Boy, here we go.
I am. I've been making sure I'm not going to mess up the names of these
Oh.
things because I don't want to mess up the I don't want to mess it up. So
I smell some references coming.
no, just Pathfinder names for creatures.
Oh.
It's why I've been looking things up to just double check things. So
Well, lay it on us, well. Stop
Igara
building the tension.
does not walk up to the stage.
Oh.
But Igara is nowhere to be seen at this moment. Gamma, on the other hand.
Oh.
Gamma is. And Gamma moves up to the stage. And as Gamma sits there, he lets out a single croak. And then disappears. And in his place is Igara, who is slightly slimy, but that's probably not noticeable from a distance.
Does he look slimy to you, Ophelia?
The time has come, my friends, for the tale of the timeless toad. A tale very dear to my heart, as it is what allowed me to gain a new friend and a new lease on life. And then I bring Gamma back onto the stage. For if it was not without the timeless toad, Gamma and I would not have our connection. I will set the scene. And as I do so, I am going to cast a sigil below me.
Okay.
To create a sort of like under spotlight of this like a shifting green and blue. One day I was feeling bored and tired whilst sitting on a riverbank listening to the elders speak their lessons to me. And like all the other tadpoles in the pod, we paid attention to our elders, and we watched, and we listened intently for their stories about nature, and honestly, things that I am happy to move on from now. But on this particular day, during this particular lesson, everyone was engrossed as the elder was speaking about some sort of ritual and great reward of immortality. I had no interest in immortality, but what I did have an interest in was the shimmering sight to my right. As I was daydreaming and looking about the pond and the stream and the rest of the pod, I saw the tiniest creature, a frog, in a jacket and tie. Very similar to the one I am wearing now, in fact. Sitting just under the tree as well, waking up and hopping away. Now, I, of course, wanted to know where this well-dressed frog was going, so I followed him into the stream's heart. He jumped into the hole, he jumped into the river, and I found a little frog hole burrowed into the ground. And when I went in there to see where he would be, There was no frog hole, and then I found myself falling. Falling suddenly, and before I knew it, the walls had changed around me. They were no longer mud, but they were crystal and prismatic in nature. And when I hit the ground, the frog was running towards what appeared to be a tower of crystal in the distance. And now getting a better look at this frog, it was in fact made of that crystal. Of course, I followed the frog, but he lost me eventually, and I found myself lost and alone. And the sun was setting, and though it was beautiful as the refractions of light were there, making this like prismatic sunset appear, I was alone, and I was scared, and I was sad. But I was not alone for long, as another crystal creature came crawling out of a crystal tunnel. He simply looked at me. It was a crystalline caterpillar. Looking at me quizzically, it simply asked who I was and why I was there. I told him about the frog that I was chasing. And he said, well, how are you ever going to find something if you can't find yourself where you are? Then they left, and I was alone again, and I began walking. And eventually I made it closer and closer to the crystal tower. And as I entered into the tower, well, I made a misstep. And I found myself in a crystal cage. And here I was, being brought up in this crystal cage higher and higher and higher, until the next thing I knew, I was in front of a giant crystalline toad. You have wandered far, little frog, they said. And when I say that you have wandered far, Igor casts Blowhorn to increase the volume of that, to be like a rumbling godly, like, you have wandered far, little frog, and found yourself into the heart of crystal corruption. Now, me being afraid and not knowing where I was, I looked around for aid. And that little crystal frog was down there. You are a member of the group, are you not?
Excuse me.
Yes, I replied. Yes, I am. Well, then perhaps you can talk your way from this. And he began to tell me about many things that my family had done. He told me about the lives they had taken, about the lives that I had taken, and about the fact that it wasn't for our own protection, but for the advancement of the elders. Well, with such a truth in front of me, I knew not what to say other than, Mr. Frog, I don't know what to tell you, Toad. I am not a good person, nor have I ever been, I suppose. If I could change, I would, but it's all I've ever known. The booming voice returned. Yet you stay, and so you shall forever remain. You are there, kept there, because you are weak. If you are willing to leave, I can offer you a trade. The man you killed recently helped me once. If you can find his things and take them back to where they belong, you will be granted a power. Of course, I agreed, and the next thing I knew, I was out of the cage and on the ground in front of him. I am the timeless Toad. I am not a teller of tales, but I am a creature of old. I have seen the things you have done, and like any crystal, your choices can be refracted. Take the dark that you have created and turn it into brilliant light. Find redemption, but it will be a plight. And on this journey, you will have a friend. And now, I got to see Gamma for the first time, and I'm glad that I got to see them again. And then Gamma just like hops up beside me and like curls up.
We got some lore tonight, guys. We got some character lore.
But how did I escape that Crystal Palace? Well, unfortunately, it was through no acts of malice or epic battles or chases. I simply left, and Gamma and I hopped back towards the hole that we had fallen from, and the crystals shattered and broke beneath our feet, and the next thing I knew, I was soaked, and the Elder was quite cross with me. Yeah, and that is the tale the Timeless told. And if you can name, and out of character, if you can name the location that Timeless Toad was in Galarian, bonus points for you.
Indeed, because I can't, and I'm the DM.
Yeah, it's in the Milwaukee Expanse somewhere.
Interesting.
There's a lot of things in the Milwaukee Expanse. It is a rich area for storytelling and the like. But what will this wonderful tale translate into your
Mechanically,
roles?
that's the question, isn't it? Like, so here's the thing. I'm trained in all these skills,
Okay.
but I'm dumb as a sack of bricks. So, I think for the first role, Igora would try to set it up with that sort of like describing the occult or describing like the supernatural figure. So I'd like to use a deception check for that.
Sure.
Boop.
Oy.
19, I'm afraid, just not quite
That's
enough.
fine. Then for the second bit, I think I would add narrative drama, which would be another performance. Then I would attempt to connect to the audience with another performance.
That is a success.
I was kind of hoping for all failures, to be honest. Then I would add narrative drama, and then connect to the audience. There we go.
Oh.
It makes you feel any better. It was over 5 minutes, so you would have been disqualified.
Was it over
anyway.
5 fucking minutes? I couldn't see
Yeah.
the timer. Oh well. I was trying to go off of like the correct names of things, and I'm just bad at life. I shouldn't do these things when I'm tired.
That's okay. I thought it was a lovely story.
'Cause
Well,
I was
I
like,
appreciate
fuck,
you
where did I
taking
put
the
it?
effort.
Where did
I
put
appreciate-
that Word document?
I appreciate you all making the effort to breathe life into this. You could have just said, I tell a story about such and such, like how they describe the other characters.
There was a hedgehog collecting rings. It was blue.
He had to go fast. He was cursed. Sometimes his games are disappointing.
Oof. Yeah.
Lastly,
Only in the last
there-
10 years.
a male elf, an apothecary by trade, comes to the stage. They seem a little stiff. By the name of Tizawa. They tells a tired old story about old mage Jatemba reconciling two estranged brothers, and he kind of tells it clumsily and kind of has to repeats himself. He gets 2 story points, especially since a few people pointed out, was there an animal in that? Did he mention?
Aw.
But he seems perfectly fine with it. He almost seemed like he was going up there and like reading a shopping list or something. Like, not sure this is your bag, buddy.
Aw.
Not Igor's either.
One person does take the stage. They seem a little odd. They don't even introduce themselves or what the profession. It's just a relative kind of like older looking human, gray hair, maybe a little underdressed for this establishment. And they go on to tell this story about what they call the bitter pyre. They lived once in a very cold region, and at one point the village he lived in was cut off by a blizzard. And at one morning, despite the fact that everyone was trying to stay inside their homes to stay warm, they looked outside, and someone had made a huge bonfire in the middle of their village. And as this man watched from his window inside, as he tried to keep warm in his own house, one by one, all his neighbors left their homes in the middle of this blizzard to stand in front of the bonfire. And eventually, some of them even started going to other houses and knocking on doors and trying to bring other people out to stand in front of this bonfire. And eventually, they started dragging people out of their homes and bringing them to this bonfire. And then eventually, people started leaping into the bonfire until it was just this man alone in a village with this now blazing bonfire, until a shape emerged from the fire. And possibly the most horrifying bird he'd ever seen climbed out of the flames, dragging with it this smoke that seemed to have faces in it. And then it just flew into the sky, leaving him alone in the now empty village.
What about Choco?
Bird.
And everyone, like, the whole bar just kind of goes silent, and this man just kind of stares forward, and he just sort of like wanders off the stage and then right out the front door.
How many points did he get?
So he didn't even get any points?
I don't think he knew he was here for a contest. He just had to tell someone about the bitter pyre.
He just had a story to tell. He had to get it out there.
Well, on that note, the judges get to their feet and they kind of hold their little scrolls up in front of them. While we now have a clear victor for Miss Ophelia with 8 points, we do unfortunately have a tie for second place. So, Avi, I'm going to need you to make a performance check against the performance DC of the person who got 7 points.
Uh-oh.
So just please give me a...
Guidance?
Does it I'll take a guidance. It doesn't have to be performance.
I will only allow a guidance if you can pass a deception check, because this... I
can pass a deception, or Ophelia.
Actually, you know what? In this instance, I'm not going to allow a guidance because this is actually more of the judges making a determination.
Okay. Well, I have a +0 to performance, so wish me luck.
I was getting natural 20.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh, that's a 5.
Don't worry. If you have a 0 in performance, you literally couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So that just means you get third place.
Okay.
That's not bad.
So first place goes to Ophelia. Second place goes to the veteran human storyteller, Iriomi. And third goes to Avi. So the first, Genetivo congratulates all of you, especially the two winners. And the Ebele, the proprietor of the Black-Crowned Crane, makes an appearance and awards the prizes to the victors. They are stylish black animal statuettes depicting the animals in your stories.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I got a squirrel.
Yep. How Ebele managed to produce the correct animal statuettes in the course of the contest is not explained. You guys managed to do a very good showing for the Megambia. Genetivo is very pleased. He makes sure that desserts are brought to all of you.
Hikura disappears, actually, after the awards are done.
Dude.
And over the course of the next few days, you guys are now a bit of the talk of the campus.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the first prize, by the way, the statuette is worth about 50 gold pieces, and the third place one is worth about 10 gold pieces, if you ever want to part with them.
Never. Never, ever.
Yeah, yours is a duck with a top hat, which looks like an interesting Monopoly piece in a way.
Cute.
But yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, you turn around and the proprietress is gone at this point, along with her lanky, slender friend.
Put it that way.
So yeah, you guys did very well in the final straightforward task, tell a tale.
Oh, boy.
And now you only have, let's see, for this chapter, and just make sure I get this right.
Ah.
We only have 4 left.
Wow.
And we're gonna do the challenging ones first. So I'm just gonna ask you guys if you wish to do the fiery debt, or the trouble from the skies?
Trouble from the Sky sounds like fun.
Fight.
Yeah, let's do some skies.
Yeah.
Hey, trouble from the skies.
I'm gonna go blink for a moment, but keep on going.
Avi's staff.
Yeah.
Avi's squirrel staff.
Oh no.
Did they make it Avi sized? Or is it like still big?
No, it's just actual squirrel sized.
Okay.
So I need help carrying that out.
You do.
The squirrel is probably as big or possibly bigger than me. At least
Over the next week before the next task is handed down, a couple times, both Avi and Ophelia, though Ophelia a bit more, people approach you and ask you to like retell your story at the cafeteria at night, and they promise they'll like treat you to something. So yeah, you guys have gained a little bit of notoriety around the campus.
real.
A few people walk up to Igor at one point and express kind of condolences for his backstory.
Listen,
Just
yo,
like,
I this is literally what Igor does. Like immediately upon anyone mentioning it, you don't see him for the rest of the day.
but eventually, a request is passed down to you guys from a teacher I don't think you've actually met yet. Asanu, a female lizard folk.
Interesting.
They are a professor of diplomatic history at the school.
Ooh.
Are any of you part of the Ujin Jati? I think Ophelia might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Benji.
Yeah. You have heard of her. They are something of a colorful character amongst the Uzanjati. Their office that you are directed to is at the top floor of the Elephant Museum.
Can you give me your name one more time?
I will put it in the chat. It's Asanu. I will put it in the chat. It is spelled a little. It's got a lot of letters in it. Asunu.
Thank you.
No problem. You guys encounter some block text. Welcome, conservants. Sano says happily, her scaled face breaking into a wide grin. I've been watching your progress. Quite impressive, I say. Quite impressive. It reminds me of a group of ancient Mwagi Expanse warriors who defied all expectations when they... Oh, you didn't hear to come... You didn't come here to hear me ramble. You want to know what I need from you, yes. Well, she says without pausing for an answer, I have a dear old friend who is a goat herder on the Nantambu outskirts. For an Anuruksi, she has quite the affinity for those hairy mammals. Do you know who else has an affinity for goats? Jungle drakes, she says again without pause. My friend needs help to stop some of these creatures grazing on her livestock. I'm happy to give you directions when you're ready to go.
Okay.
Have we bought staffs yet?
No.
We're buying staffs first.
That's fine.
Okay.
Asanu doesn't have a lot of additional information. I'll just save you some time here. Though happy to engage in conversation of any type. If you want, you can try and impress her with a lore check of some kind to tell a story. You know those, the Uzranjati, they love stories, so.
I'm gonna tell her a story.
I'm gonna try to sneak in a story about Osaibu just because it's one of those things that Avi keeps coming back to about, like, it's a mystery, it's a secret.
All right, give me a lore check.
That's a 30.
All right, you impress the heck out of this teacher.
Amazing.
They offer you some choice candied meat snacks they have.
Yeah, maybe you
Candy
should teach your
meat
minor, Alvy.
snacks.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can I tell her a story about one of our romps that she might not have heard about?
You can certainly give me a lore check.
All right. Hey.
You also succeed. Breaks out some wonderful fruit juice they have been saving for a good story.
Igora no longer tells stories.
Can I, since it's under lore, can I make her something? I have cooking lore.
Sure.
Yeah.
They
I'll
have a
try
small
to.
kitchenette in their office.
Yeah, a little small kitchen. I'll try to make her some of my specialty, maybe some pudding or whatnot. Hopefully, it doesn't burn in the kitchen.
Just shy of a success, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a high check.
We'll
Oh
take
Yeah,
it.
and
wow.
it's a high check that actually has no mechanical reward, so I'm not.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that it's
Yes,
in there.
Yeah.
All right.
Paper.
But it's something for you guys to be proud of that you managed to succeed twice there.
Mhm.
In the course of the conversations, you guys also realize that never actually gave you the name of her friend.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Let's see if we can get that from her.
Tell us where to go.
Oh, I
So
didn't
yeah,
tell you that.
give us the name and then also what we're fighting. What are we
Oh,
up against?
Jungle
Um,
Drakes.
Uh, my friend's name is Ibisu. 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 And they give you very detailed instructions to the fields, which are the southwest of Nantambu.
I am the righteous.
I guess on our way there, we stopped at some shops.
Yes.
Actually-
We're not going to dive into the actual mechanics of the adventure this week, so we can get you guys your stuff off stream, but
Yeah.
we'll probably touch base with the actual character. Though you have a question, McKenna.
Can we go to the library and look up jungle drakes? Prepare spells. Maybe we go tomorrow.
It's jungle what?
Jungle drakes.
Sure.
What's
I
we?
don't know anything about them.
Jungle drakes. So are they a form of dragon?
No,
Yes.
no. That's why I want to go to the library.
Hey,
Although,
let's go.
unfortunately, these are not singing dragons.
So fun.
Making
Okay.
Ooh, the
our
library.
card. Our card.
Actually, they're not particularly rare creatures, so you guys just asking the librarian, you can get directions to a book about them. Without knowing like the specific breed, it's hard to get any real detailed information, like what their favorite food is or what weakness elementally they have. But you do learn something possibly important. Jungle drakes are somewhat intelligent. They're not just beasts, but they only speak Draconic.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh! I speak Draconic.
I also
that.
speak draconic.
Oh, but we're like the worst two people to talk to them.
This is very true.
Oh.
All right, so we gotta practice.
Yes.
Wait. But couldn't you guys translate?
Yes.
Oh,
We
okay,
can definitely translate.
for sure.
I don't know what that would do to rolls, but like,
I don't think it does anything in PF2. In PF1, it gave you like a -1.
that's kind of fun to think about.
It might come down to the actual encounter itself. We'll see what happens. But just so we can get this little information out into your brains before we close for tonight, because I probably don't want to launch into the actual adventure for this tonight,
All right.
because we want to get you guys your staffs. You guys make your way to Ibusu's fields, and you spot pretty easily amongst all the livestock an elderly Iruxi with lime green scales. They seem to be moving deliberately through a flock of several dozen goats. Just watching for even just a minute, you realize it's pretty clear they're not moving slowly due to like the aches and pains of being old age, but out of concern for the goats. She nudges them gently out of her way with her staff as she walks. She's plainly pleased to see you guys when she spots you approaching, and is quite impressed that the Magami would send so many students to help her.
Aww.
After making introductions and offering you guys some bugs, launches into a little story. Nantambo is a living, changing city. Nothing ever remains the same for too long, but sometimes that change brings pain. Nearby, there are a male and female jungle drake. I could watch them fly in the skies all day long, courting each other. It's beautiful. And I would, except that they've developed a taste for my goats, as I'm sure Asanu has told you. I need these goats for my livelihood. I tried to speak to a friend of mine, Magistrate Mayor Asanda, but he was not nearly as approachable as I was led to believe. Everyone else I try to talk to reminds me that jungle drakes are cruel and scheming monsters and wants to turn them into pelts or trophies. I don't want that. I just want them moved. They have eggs, and moving the eggs means the drakes will follow. No matter how mean they want what's best for their children, just as we all do. I've already found a distant place where they could live comfortably, if I could get them there. That's where, it kind of looks at the whole group, you come in.
Oh.
Igora visibly frowns.
Eggs.
So basically, she sort of outlines the plan that she's come up with. She's asking you basically, this is her prime plan, but things may go wrong. But her idea is that she wants you to help her catch the drakes. She has a dragon and some very sturdy collapsible cages from Oba Ezi. Ibisi has already located the drake's nest, which is near a pretty waterfall in the jungle. She also provides a map on goatskin parchment showing a new distant location for the drake's release, about a day's travel further from the city. Before sending you guys out, she does remind you that the drakes aren't just animals, and killing them is unacceptable. These are sentient creatures, not, they're not civilized necessarily, but they are thinking and feeling creatures that, are very much in love and have children and are having a family.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as this is going to be an interesting, complex task,
Well,
I'm going to give you guys a week to think and plan about this. So we're probably going to end the adventure for tonight because this could be quite the endeavor.
Will we
Yeah.
also have time
Yes.
like in game to maybe like prepare spells and such what?
Yes. We are. I just wanted to get this little bit of expedition out just so chat knows what's coming next week as well.
I have a wonderful idea.
I do too. It involves several castings of invisibility sphere.
Nice. I'm going to put myself in a goat suit and try to get eaten by a drake.
My idea was omelets.
Well,
Out of the baby drake eggs?
If we can't murder,
Horrifying, Ophelia.
if we can't murder the drake,
Kidding. So kidding.
all
We
right.
just steal the eggs and we run away really quick.
But everyone, thank you so much for coming to tonight's episode of the Strength of Thousands AP. Join us next week as we get into some Monster Hunter shenanigans.
With no carving off of bits to make gear.
No hunting.
Well,
Just
no, there's a
monstering.
bunch of missions in Monster Hunter where you have to go collect eggs from a nest and carry them back while monsters are trying to get you. That's what this reminded me of.
See, that's literally what we're probably going to do.
You literally-
For
So, child trafficking?
Yes. So join us next week for that. Then, of course, every Wednesday we have the League of Amazing Adventurers. Friday, Calling Chronicle. Those are our tabletop RPG shows. Then Tuesday, we have something I'm figuring it out tonight. Saturday, we have Salt and Sorcery. Matt and I will figure that out. Sunday, we have Stardew Sunday. And, of course, every Monday we have the Strength of Thousands AP. I think I'm frozen on my Streamlabs, so this is a good time to end things. So thank you all so much for coming, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Guys.